Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Alright, folks, today we're diving deep into a story that's generating quite a buzz around the NFL, especially among Steelers fans who are always looking ahead, always dreaming about how the team can get better, how it can reclaim its spot among the league's elite. And what's caught everyone's attention is a potential reunion of sorts with one of their former stars, Naji Harris. Yes, you heard that right. The same Naji Harris who left Pittsburgh in free agency this offseason and signed with the Los Angeles Chargers. But now, there's talk, whispers really, about a possible trade that could see Harris back in the black and gold. And let me tell you, this isn't just some random rumor. It's coming from credible sources, from analysts who follow the league closely, and from a perspective that makes a lot of sense when you look at the bigger picture of the Steelers' roster and their needs. So, let's unpack this. Naji Harris, for those who might not follow every single detail, spent 4 solid seasons with the Steelers. Since he was drafted, he's been a workhorse, a guy who's fought hard every game, never missing a single one, and consistently rushing for over 1,000 yards each season. That's no small feat in the NFL. Running backs who can hit that milestone year after year, especially when they're just starting their careers, are valuable commodities. Harris brought a lot of grit, a lot of toughness to Pittsburgh, and he became a fan favorite pretty quickly. But as with many players, there are ups and downs. Harris, despite his talent, faced some criticism for his efficiency at times, and understandably, he never quite reached the superstar level some hoped for when he first arrived. That led the Steelers to make a tough decision this past offseason, moving on from him, especially with the team looking to evolve their offensive strategy and find new ways to attack defenses. In his place, the Steelers drafted Caleb Johnson, a promising young talent, and looked to the future. But here's where things get interesting. According to Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report, there's a real possibility that Harris could find his way back to Pittsburgh. And the reason is simple: supporting quarterback Kenny Pickett and the team's offensive success hinges heavily on establishing a solid, dependable ground game. Pittsburgh's offensive line has been a work in progress, and having a player like Harris, who's familiar with the system and who has proven he can run tough yards between the tackles, could be just the boost they need. Knox notes that the Steelers might see value in bringing Harris back because his style of running, tough, physical, resilient, fits perfectly into what head coach Mike Tomlin wants on offense. Now, let's not forget the context here. Harris is still just 27 years old, which in NFL terms means he's entering his prime. He's under an affordable deal, and the Chargers, who signed him mainly to a 1-year contract, might be open to trading him if it benefits both sides. Los Angeles, after all, has a crowded backfield with Amarian Hampton emerging as their lead back. Harris, on a 1-year deal, might not fit into their long-term plans, especially if they're looking to give more touches to their younger players and push for a playoff run. The Chargers could see the value in moving Harris in the next few months, especially if a team like Pittsburgh comes knocking with a reasonable offer. And what would that look like? Well, most experts suggest that a day 3 pick, maybe a 4th or 5th round selection, could be enough to pry Harris away from Los Angeles. That's a pretty low cost for a player who, despite some inconsistencies, has shown he can be a reliable contributor when used correctly. For the Steelers, adding Harris would be a strategic move, bringing back a familiar face who understands the team's culture, who can add that extra punch in short yardage situations, and who can help take some pressure off Kenny Pickett, especially in those crucial 3rd and short scenarios that often decide the outcome of close games. But let's take a step back and analyze the bigger picture. The Steelers have been in a sort of transitional phase over the past couple of seasons. They've been rebuilding, trying to find consistency on offense, and developing their young quarterback, Pickett. The defense, as always, remains a strong point, but the offense has faced challenges, especially in establishing a dynamic running game that can control the clock and keep the opposing offense off the field. Harris, with his power and durability, could be exactly what they need to complement their existing weaponry. Think about how he fits into the scheme. Pittsburgh's offensive philosophy has always valued a strong running game, a physical approach that wears down opponents and opens up play-action opportunities downfield. Harris, with his skill set, is ideally suited to that style. Now, it's also worth mentioning that Harris's departure from Pittsburgh last year was a bit of a shock for fans. He was seen as a cornerstone, a player who could lead the ground attack for years to come. But sometimes, in the NFL, things change quickly. Coaches and management have to make tough choices, especially when they believe they can upgrade or diversify their roster. The move to let Harris go was probably driven by a combination of his inconsistent efficiency at times and the team's desire to explore other options. Still, if the Steelers do manage to bring him back, it would be a huge statement about their commitment to running the ball and their belief in Harris's talent. And if you look at Harris's stats, they're pretty impressive. Over 4 seasons, he's amassed over 4.0 rushing yards, averaging about 4.1 yards per carry, which isn't bad at all considering the offensive line struggles Pittsburgh has faced at times. He's also been a dependable receiver out of the backfield, adding another dimension to the offense. Yes, he's had moments where he's struggled with fumbles or missed opportunities, but who hasn't? The key is that he's shown resilience, the ability to bounce back, and the willingness to do the dirty work, exactly what the Steelers value. Of course, reuniting with Harris isn't just about nostalgia or sentimentality. It's a football decision, a strategic move that could pay dividends if executed right. The Steelers are always looking for ways to improve their roster without breaking the bank, and Harris fits that mold perfectly. Bringing him back could also send a message to the locker room that they're committed to winning now, that they're willing to make bold moves to stay competitive. And let's be honest, with the AFC North being as competitive as it is, every edge counts. The Ravens, Bengals, and Browns are all making moves, and Pittsburgh needs to stay aggressive if they want to regain their place at the top. Now, what about the fans? Well, Steelers Nation, this is the kind of story that gets everyone talking. Imagine Harris back in the black and gold, running with that familiar grit, helping the team control the clock and setting up big plays for the offense. It's a narrative that excites many, especially those who remember his early days and his potential. But it's also a smart football move, one that could make the Steelers more versatile, more unpredictable, and ultimately more dangerous. And of course, this isn't just speculation. There are real discussions happening behind closed doors, and with the NFL offseason in full swing, teams are always looking for ways to improve. The NFL trade market is unpredictable, but Harris's situation is one to watch. If the Steelers can pull it off, it might just be one of those moves that shifts the entire division's balance of power. Imagine a scenario where Harris, motivated and hungry, returns to Pittsburgh and reignites his career in a familiar environment. That could be exactly what the Steelers need to push over the edge in 2024 and beyond. So, as we keep an eye on developments, one thing is clear: Pittsburgh fans should stay tuned. This story isn't over yet, and the potential reunion of Naji Harris with the Steelers could be one of the most interesting and impactful moves of the offseason. It's a reminder that in the NFL, things change fast, and the team's future is always being written. And for Steelers fans, it's exciting to think about the possibilities, about how this team can evolve and improve with the right moves, and about how Harris's return might just be part of a bigger comeback story. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the Steelers have a lot to consider in this offseason. The draft, free agency, strategic trades, all of these pieces are coming together to shape their 2024 campaign. Bringing back Harris could be a low-cost, high-reward move that addresses one of their biggest needs: a reliable, powerful running back who can punch it in when it counts and help control the tempo of the game. It would also send a message that Pittsburgh values loyalty, familiarity, and the kind of toughness that defines their identity. And for Naji Harris, returning to a place where he's already loved and understood could be just what he needs to hit his full potential and help push the Steelers back into serious Super Bowl contention. Moreover, Harris's potential return fits into the broader NFL landscape, where teams are increasingly valuing versatile, dependable backs who can do the dirty work, and also contribute in the passing game. The league is shifting towards more balanced offensive schemes, and having a player like Harris could give Pittsburgh more options, more unpredictability, and a renewed sense of confidence on offense. Fans, imagine the possibilities: Harris lining up behind Pickett, running downhill, breaking tackles, and setting up big plays that keep the crowd roaring at Acrisure Stadium. That's the kind of energy and hope that makes Steelers Nation so special. And let's not forget, the Steelers are always about building a resilient, competitive roster. They've shown time and again that they're not afraid to make bold moves if it means winning. This potential Harris trade is no different. If it comes to fruition, it will be a testament to the team's strategic mindset and their relentless pursuit of excellence. The AFC North is tough, no doubt about it. The Ravens have Lamar Jackson, the Bengals have Joe Burrow, and the Browns are loaded with talent. Pittsburgh needs to stay aggressive, stay smart, and capitalize on every opportunity to improve. In the end, whether Harris makes his way back to Pittsburgh or not, this story underscores the dynamic nature of the NFL offseason. It's a time of speculation, of hope, and of strategic moves that can redefine a team's future. Steelers fans, I know you're as excited as I am to see how this unfolds. Remember, the league is always changing, and staying informed is key. That's why we're here, bringing you the latest and most detailed insights, so you can be prepared for whatever comes next. So, as we wrap up today's deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought: the Steelers are on the cusp of something special. They have the talent, the coaching, and the passion to turn things around quickly. And if bringing Naji Harris back turns out to be part of that puzzle, then expect a lot of excitement ahead. Keep your eyes peeled, stay loyal to the black and gold, and get ready for an electrifying 2024 season. Pittsburgh Steelers fans, this is just the beginning of what promises to be a thrilling journey back to glory, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news.